afternoon. It's again 4:30, 5:30 in the p.m. on a Friday afternoon, and it's kind of raining, a little damp. Reminds me of that song, It's a Rainy Night in Georgia. Lord, it just keeps raining all over the world. Well, I guess if you can find you a boxcar or something else. But at any rate, today is Friday, and we are approaching Memorial Day. The Memorial Day weekend. What are you going to do? Lots of people, lots of them, are going to find their way to some cemetery where they have a loved one buried there. And they're going to go out and look at the grave. They're going to take some flowers. They're going to take some memories. And they're going to pay tribute to their family and friends who have moved on. Some are going to honor military personnel, especially those who've given their lives in combat, fighting for the honor, dignity, and protection of democratic values and principles in which they believed. And of course, there are some people who believe that some of these battles we've been in were not so much about principles of democracy as much as they were about militarism. At any rate, precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. I've got lots of good memories about people who have gone on. Some of them, when I talk about them, it causes me to get a little frog in my throat, or to get a little sentimental. And maybe we don't talk enough about those people who maybe helped us to arrive at wherever it is that we are. I tell you, I don't have a problem with it at all. I grew up in rural Arkansas, the land of opportunity, we used to call it. That was the state motto. And President Bill Clinton and I used to run into each other from time to time, and we both knew that Arkansas was a part of our heritage. As a matter of fact, when Bill Clinton ran for president of the United States, the first time I was not a member of Congress, I was in on the Cook County Board. But he knew that I was from Arkansas, and we met and all of that. I ended up doing a radio commercial for the campaign. I remember it to this day. It came on kind of like this, doom to doom. So Bill Clinton was born in the little town of Hope, Arkansas. Now he's going all across America, bringing hope to millions and millions of people. If he represents hope, won't you vote for Bill Clinton for President of the United States of America? David Axelrod wrote that, and I said it, and it played on radio as a part of the Clinton campaign. And of course, after he was elected, I was appointed by him to be on something called the National Housing Partnership. And they make thousands, I guess, of those kind of appointments. And it called for Senate confirmation, meaning that I had to be confirmed by the Senate. They also did a background check on you. And I remember one of my neighbors who was kind of fond of alcohol. I usually had some alcohol sitting on a little thing in my house. He came over to tell me that the FBI people had been on the block asking questions and that kind of stuff. And he says, I told him you was a good man. And he'd look over at that bottle and say, let's have another little sip. But all of those things are part of what makes America the America that is. Hopefully many of us are trying to change America and help make America become what we think it really ought to be. I think we've got a caller, and we're going to go right to the phone. And those of you who have not called, if you will call,
Yeah,
we would be delighted. James, I'm doing great. How are you?
Okay, first of all, I was going to tell you that y'all have a nice holiday coming up Monday. But Congressman Davis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what happened in London, I think that was an inside job. Congressman Davis, they had all the security guards, they had all the police there, and you mean they still had no people in at that concert, they still had blowing it up?
Well, let me ask you this. When you're saying...
I think it was an inside job because ain't no way they had a police dog and the little detective. You mean the terrorist has tried that? And I think the police were part of that, and the security guard was part of that. Ain't no way they gonna let the terrorists blow up, kill some of those people in London.
Well,
I think it was police was involved, and some of those security guards.
So why would you think that a policeman or a security person would be involved?
Because I figure like this, every time when they have an event, like the Boston bomber had blowing that bomb, and they had all the security guards and the police all around, and I think they were part of that. Ain't no way they have all this security, have all this that home security.
Well, let me just...
They still had blow up some of the people at that lady's concert. I don't know the lady's name, Colonel David.
Well, it might have been, but it's very difficult to protect against that kind of terrorism where individuals are willing to give up their own lives in order to take the lives of others. But I don't know. But you may be right. There could have been police involved. If people got enough money, there are a lot of people who will do things for money. And that's why it's some...
2 months ago, Colonel David, and all the security, and then they had all the security, police and security guards. And I think they was involved. Because there's no way you're going to come and see somebody bomb and blow some of those people at that concert.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, y'all have a good holiday, Colonel David.
You too. Let's go to our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am, Congressman. You know, Congressman.
Yes.
You made me feel pretty good last week with your closing comment about we all got to get together because doing it apart, you see what's happening. That I like, but now in Congress, the Senate, the House, Democrats don't talk to Republicans. Republicans don't talk to Democrats. It takes a big man like you, Congressman, to get over there and tell them, listen, let's stop all of this and start helping each other so we can make this country great. Otherwise, You stay on your side, I stay on my
Well,
side. No good bills get passed. Nothing. So maybe you're the man to do that.
let me ask you, can I ask you this question?
Sure.
What do you think is the great divide? I mean, what are the things you think that have the country so divided against each other?
I'll tell you what. When President Obama was elected, right away, the Republicans said, we ain't going to do nothing. Now, Trump gets elected, and the Democrats say the same thing. We ain't going to do nothing to help. Well, don't help each other, and guess what? We'll be talking a different language instead of English. And that's what's coming if we don't get together.
Well, I tell you, I am afraid, especially am I afraid for low income people in the state of Illinois, where the president is proposing to cut so much of the money out of Medicaid.
Okay, that's perfect. Now I'm on the subject. What did President Obama do? He promised the African American people more jobs. He promised no new taxes on the middle class. And what happened? He did neither. The African American and Hispanic like myself didn't get any jobs, and we got taxed. So what? I mean, you gotta give the man a year, like I gave Obama, President Obama, and he did very well after that.
So,
Let's see what we can do with you in the middle of everything.
all right, let me ask you again another question. Are you in favor of the tax cuts that the president is talking about? Or are you against
Oh
are you against the tax cuts?
no. Oh, let me say this. Of course, I'm opposed to them. Of course.
Okay.
I'm 9 years old. I'm on Medicare, Social Security, but I worked all my life.
And so you deserve
But
Medicare and Social Security because you've already worked for it.
yes,
All right.
but the thing is, Congressman, that President Obama also said that he wouldn't touch this or touch that, and he did. But after the first year, he knew, hey man, I got to get along. So it's my people, our people. And guess what? You give Mr. Trump a chance, and maybe you'll be same like me.
All right.
Hey, we gave you a chance, and you did well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. They're just saying this stuff isn't as easy as sometimes it looks. People say things, it's much easier to say them than it is to do them. So let's go to our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Congressman Davis. This is Miss Gray.
Miss Gray, how are you?
Finding you.
Okay.
That's good. I was wondering, had you heard that the Illinois Senate passed the AT&T bill?
I had not heard that this, you're saying this week?
Yes.
And what does that mean for us now?
It's they're trying to have landline service to be ending, and there's for people who are getting their bill this month, there's a notice in there stating that they want to install what they call new network equipment, and I asked them, what is network equipment? And they said digital. And I was like, do you mean UVerse? And they was like, yes. And we continued our conversation. Then I realized, I said, doesn't UVerse have to operate off of the internet? And they were like, yes. And I expressed to them that I work with a lot of seniors, and they can't even afford landline service. Now you want them to pay for internet also? And two of my older seniors are 94 years old.
Mm.
So now you're going to say you're going to have them paying for something that they will never use in their life.
And so you are advocating that the governor would veto this legislation?
Yes. The Citizens Utility Board has a petition for people to sign. I've done an e-blast. I've been making phone calls to my family and friends. Anybody that I meet face-to-face, I talk to them about this. Because also the other thing is you have seniors that have their medical equipment attached to their landline. Is the UVerse service set up so that they can still operate their medical equipment, or are they going to have to get new equipment? And is the medical government have that equipment already set up?
And so you're saying that we are on the verge of losing landline telephone service altogether.
That's what they're trying to do, and the Senate passed it this week. So now
Mm.
it's supposed to be in the House.
So you got to do a lot of lobbying
I know the
before.
Citizens Utility Board is working on it. I've been working with them, and I signed their petition, and they sent me an email of their petition, and I did an e-blast.
All right. Well, I've been a member of Cub ever since it started. And of course, you know that the former governor, Pat Quinn, was the person who originated and led the petition drive to get Cub established. So it looks like it's got its work cut out for it right now.
Yes.
And I thank you for your advocacy and for your call and for your effort to protect the senior citizens that you referenced.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Our phone lines are indeed open. We are coming up on Memorial Day, and where we just pay tribute. You know, there were so many people who assisted me when I was a young person growing up. Not only my immediate parents, my mother and father, who were both outstanding, decent, delightful people, but I had uncles and aunts and neighbors and people at church. Let's take this call. Caller, are you there? Yes, caller, go right ahead.
Okay, Congressman, what I'm calling for is to piggyback on what the young lady was saying about the landline phone.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been a part of landline phone all the way back to the 40s. And the phone that I'm talking to you on now, I've had this phone for 51 years. And we do not need the abolishment of the landline phone. I'm just becoming a senior at 80 years old. And we need to discuss this. And I'm wondering if this is why T-Mobile is trying to put up all their wiring out here where I live at, in 91st Street, in the 21st Ward. So we need to wake up, people, and you got that great congressman there. Do as he says, write your representative and everyone and tell them, no, we don't want landline removed. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Well,
continue on and have a wonderful, safe holiday.
you too, and I thank you so much, and we thank you for the clarity of your advocacy. What you said, people ought to be able to fully understand. Did we have another caller on?
Yes, Congressman, and I'd like to wish you a great holiday. I'd like to have everyone, all the listeners, have a safe weekend. Please be careful. There's some crazy people out here, so we'd like to see everybody back next Friday. Congressman, it's a great day to be on God's green earth. What I'm about to ask you, did you see President Donald Duck at the NATO meeting how he just pushed this man aside and to just get up in the front.
Someone just mentioned that to me as we were walking in, and I didn't see it, and I said maybe the person was a security guard or something.
No, he was a president of another country. He just grabbed him by the shoulder, slung him, sideways, got up in front of him, and the most important thing, you should see the look on his face. So I know you could Google that stuff up and see it. This is the kind of president we have. Again,
So he's a John Wayne president, huh?
well, if you want to put John Wayne Duck in it, I think so. He quacks, you know. It was the most embarrassing thing. He sometimes make a big fool at himself. He want to be the center of attention. Well, I want to know what they're going to do when they try to impeach him or maybe even put the firing line on you. I don't know what they were going to do to this man, but it's going to be something. And I hate to even feel like that because it sounds so hatred. But the man just despise things he do, what he causes. Like I say, if he stay in, it's going to be a civil war. I mean, another civil war. Listen, let me get out there.
All right.
I know it's somebody else trying to reach you.
Thank you so very much. It sounds, no, I didn't get a chance to see that, but maybe I will see it. We do have another caller on the line. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, Congressman Davis, I wanted to make a couple of points, if I might. And I think it's wonderful that we finally have some good data out on what the so-called new legislation that replaced the Affordable Care Act looks like now that we have CBO scoring. And for people who don't know it, under this new proposed legislation, someone with a salary, a senior with a salary of income of $27,000 a year could end up paying $12,000 plus a year in health care costs. In order to receive decent health care in this country, if this legislation passes as is, as it came out of the House. Now, I don't believe for a moment that the Senate's going to allow any such thing to pass. And keep in mind that this is what Donald Trump wants simply so he could yell, I got a victory under my wing, while at the same time forgetting that he promised Americans that no one would lose their health care coverage, pre-existing conditions would not be an issue, everyone would be better off. And yet he's going to actually sign this into being, or he's not. And this is the wonderful thing about this legislation. For years now, the Republicans have been holding the Affordable Care Act over the heads of Democrats, promising that only if we could repeal it, we'd give America something better. Well, now they've had a chance to do it, and they're quickly finding out when they go home, when they leave Washington and return to their districts, what their voters think about their alternative to the Affordable Care Act.
But they were on the front page of the Sun-Times just having a ball.
Exactly.
Celebrating.
It's one thing to say, I don't like the Affordable Care Act. Yes, absolutely. Someone has to pay somewhat more to ensure that a lot of people are healthy in this country. But when you say, I've got a better alternative and you don't have one, then you're taking the task, because the alternative that their own voters don't like is the one that are the people that are attacking them when they go back to Kansas and Wisconsin and Michigan. These are not people who are in California.
I agree with you. Thank you so much. Let me try to get this last caller in. Caller, are you there?
Hi, Congressman Davis. How are you, sir?
Okay.
My name is Jim Chilson. I'm Director of Communications from the Citizens Utility Board, and I just wanted to let your viewers know about a bill that's being debated in the Illinois legislature right now that's going to take away, it would set a process in motion that would take away landline customers for the 1.2 million business and residential AT&T customers who now have landlines. We're very concerned about it.
Well, you know, you've had some advocates who called in earlier, and I am so glad that you were able to call, because Cub has been a very effective representative for the people. And that's what I like about Cub.
Well, we like you. You've been an effective advocate for the people, too. We're just telling people to go to saveourphoneservice.com. Go to saveourphoneservice.com, and they can send a message to the Illinois House to say no to AT&T.
All right, our time is up. We want to thank all of our listeners, all of our viewers, and especially all of our callers. Have a wonderful weekend. Remember somebody that you love, somebody that you have loved, and show love during the Memorial Weekend, and the world will be a better place in which to live. I'm over, but now I am out.